Spark 4. Today's session, we're going to have be presented by Srini, Maha, with special guest Mr. Brian Lee. And it's going to be all about working or setting up your database, which is going to be critical. And then after our session, we can get together and talk about some ahas and lead generation activities for the rest of the day. So without any further ado, please, Mr. Srini, take it away and share.
Great, thank you. So I hope everybody is able to see my screen. If you are seeing the Ignite Skills to Spark a Great Career, so we are on session 4 today. Your database is your business. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. Along the way, I'm going to tell you some of how I use my database and how probably it will help you. So a little background about me. So I've joined Keller Silicon City roughly about 2 years back. Prior to that, I've been working in a high-tech industry. I still do. So this is I would say like a part-time career is what I'm doing now. Though I say part-time, I spend enough hours than most of the other folks here. It's actually like I have 2 jobs kind of thing. The reason I could do that is I rely heavily on technology, and I let the technology do some of the heavy lifting for me. Okay, so my passion has been in real estate for last several years. I've been an investor buying residential properties. A group of us a few years back got together and got into commercial real estate. That's where my passion started getting into real estate. That's when I went and said, okay, I can go get my realtor license, and went and started doing that. Then I accidentally became a residential realtor. I was more focused on commercial aspects of it. Then last year, roughly in March timeframe, I did my first residential transaction. At that time, I've been coming on and off to the classes, different training sessions, everything. I never had any database per se or any system or process per se, right? Whatever I've done is something I've done in the last year, right? Roughly, if you exclude, I've got some database in EH in the past, but then I've started gradually and slowly building business, right? So without further ado, let me go for it. So this is a slide which you all been seeing on a regular basis, I think on a daily basis. What do successful agents do every day, right? I think that the critical aspects of this is just to rehash what we as real estate business people need to do day in and day out, right? There are some things which you can do to grow your business, right? There are some things which will do to run your business, right? And I think I attended the last couple of sessions, the last few days. I see this slide being there on every presentation every day. Basically, what it's trying to tell us is, these are the things. If you cannot do anything, just focus on the left side, grow your business, right? For every agent, the critical part is we have to do is lead generate, right? What does it, so it says like lead generate for buyers and lead generate for sellers. The crux of today's presentation and goal is how do you effectively do lead gen for your buyers and sellers, okay? In order to do that, you need to have a system in place, a process in place, and you have to diligently keep following that day in and day out, right? What we are going to show and talk about is how do you effectively build a system, right? How do you effectively build a database, and how do you constantly keep feeding it, making it your day in and day out kind of a thing, right? Without your lead gen, there is actually no business, right? So that is why it's pretty critical to understand how you need to start growing your business. Run the business on the right side. I don't think I'm going to concentrate today because I think there are various other sessions that talk about these things. I think we've covered like setting goals and some things in the past. Marketing, social, and I think Amanda and Wilson have done like a tremendous class. How do you generate leads through social media? There are various aspects of that. But once you get those leads, how do you do it? What do you do with them, right? So, so coming to the crux of a thing. So essentially, like I'd like to know what is a database, right? Fundamentally, we use database every day, right? If you've been using your phone is a database, right? It has whole bunch of names, phone numbers. Some of you have addresses, and some of you have more details on the thing, right? That is essentially a database. Without a database, you are trying to develop haphazardly, right? Let me ask, or I don't think I can see show of hands, but if I may, I want to understand like how many of you effectively use a database? Unfortunately, everybody is not on video, so I can't really see who's showing the hands, but that's okay.
Oh wait, I was going to.
I think when you said effectively, Srini, I think everyone's got a negative opinion of their own database, maybe.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
I was going to ask like what does that mean effectively? Like,
so effectively means like every consistently and diligently adding. So to give a picture, like in our office, I think both in Santa Clara and Silicon City, if people are using a command, we know how many people are actively using that, right? But I'm sure you might have other databases, not command. But then I've heard through my various sessions, some of them don't even have a database. They use their own process of Excel sheets or something, right? My goal here is to, if I can convince someone to start building their database, add to their database, and start feeding to the database and nurturing it, okay? That's the thing. So this picture is a big picture or a high level, which talks about what are the benefits of a big database, right? So if I read the first sentence, a well-tended database produces leads, right? How does that happen? Right? Does it automatically produce leads? No. You have to constantly keep feeding it. You constantly have to keep nurturing it. And then as you keep building and nurturing your database, you will have a system, and then you can start to predict how much your business is going to be this year, next year, and moving forward, right? That is essentially what you're trying to establish here, right? And there are some statistics, data that will tell you, based on your size of your database, how much business can you start building upon, nurturing upon, right? So that's all this one is trying to tell you, right? You build a powerful database managed by a powerful schedule, produces a predictable flow of leads. And from a predictable flow of leads, you can expect a predictable flow of business, okay? That's all, right? And I can relate to this one because I've come from high-tech background. All my databases in the past are in LinkedIn, right? I used to heavily rely on LinkedIn. So once I came onto this side, I said, okay, I need to start tapping my existing sphere, right? As everybody does that. But I need to have a system in place. So that is where initially I started on E-Edge, if you guys are familiar with E-Edge. But then I wasn't really, I wasn't actively doing it or nurturing it per se on a regular basis, on a daily basis, right? Once one find I opened command, and everything was automatically transferred into there, right? I had about like 500, 600 records entered in my old system. It automatically got transferred. Then I had to go and clean up some of that. And over the years, over the year, over the last few months, I started to nurture them, right? Nurturing is basically, it says like how you call them or it may keep capturing notes. As you keep having conversations with your clients or your sphere, you understand what their needs are and all that stuff. This is what your database can help you in the big picture, okay? So what I've just talked is like, what is the purpose? What makes the database valuable? What are the industries and use database for marketing? And what are the effective marketing? What makes targeted marketing effective, right? So I can relate to what is the purpose. I just started telling you what is the purpose of my database. I started using my, I'm brand new to the business because I've only been like for the last couple of years. My immediate target is my sphere, right? As any new agent, they can only rely on people you've known or people you worked with in the past, right? So I only reached out to them and started through, I don't know the processes, I don't know how to market or all that stuff. But slowly I started taking different sessions, classes, and last year, my business primarily came through my sphere, right? All the transactions pretty much I started was through my sphere, and I did almost like 9 transactions, close to 9 transactions, about 10 to 12 million in total sales, which I think is pretty good for a brand new agent, right? Now, this year, I've started nurturing some of these people because I started my database with like 600 to 700 people. This is my immediate sphere. Then I started adding to the database. Today, I'm roughly around 1,300 plus, right? And I constantly keep adding that one. So that's why my database keeps it more valuable. Now I started getting leads or calls who are not in my initial sphere. These are brand new folks. I've never in my sphere. I don't know them until a year back. And now I started targeting them, right? And I can probably tell you how everybody has a different method of how you build your database and how you interact with your database. If I may, let me tell you how I started building my database, right? One of the things I've done is I've hosted an event, or actually I was one of the sponsors for an event in Indian community for one of our Diwali festivals, right? It's a wide spread event, happens yearly in Tali Fairgrounds. So I happened to reach out to them and say, hey, can I sponsor this event, right? So it is some cost I had to do that. Then they said, okay, sure, why not? That event gets an annual visibility of about 15,000 people. And they also do some kind of radio advertising. They do a lot of print advertising in a lot of local Indian grocery stores. And then there's a special, some Indian radio channels where they market and start telling, hey, there is this thing. The other thing is, then they gave me a booth in there on the actual day to set up, right? What makes it attractive for people to come to a boring realtor booth, right? Nobody would come and visit my booth because there's a lot of other people selling their stores, their food stalls. It's a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Then I started thinking, okay, how can I attract people to come and give me their name, give me their phone number, give me their email address, give me their address, home address, right? How many of you think would people come and give you all the details that you need to fill your database, right? If I just have a regular booth, I wouldn't, probably I would get like about 1 or 2 or maximum 10 people, right? Out of a crowd of 15,000 people that are visiting the store, the event for a whole day, right? There's a lot of activities, dances, everything going on. So I did a raffle, right? I said, okay, and I gave away prizes. I mean, there is some cost to that, but being brand new, I said, okay, let me, for everybody who comes and signs up, I gave goodies, right? And goodies are, I gave a free flight ticket to India. I gave an iPod, and I mean, iPod in the sense like AirPods, Google Home, Amazon Echo. I mean, all these fancy gadgets which attract the crowd. I said, these are all the giveaways. And I gave them a raffle ticket. In order to get a raffle ticket for the drawings, which I'm going to do at the end of the night, I need your contact information. And the reason I need the contact information is that, hey, I need to call you and let you know if you want something, right? You don't need to be physically present here, right? So with a lot of kids, I mean, the kids get attracted when they see a spinning rainbow wheel with all these fancy new gadgets, everything. The thing that attracted a lot of people's attention is like a free ticket to India, right? And then there is a disclaimer saying like up to a maximum value of $1,000 or something like that, right? Guess how many people signed up, right? By end of the day, I mean, I had 3 iPads where I had people coming in, filling in their contact information, and started, I think close to about 450 people came and signed up. I got all the information I need. I got 3 critical information because the name, phone number, and email address is mandatory. Your home address is optional, but some people gave because I told them, if you can't come, I can come and physically give you the presents, right? Whatever things you want. And then I also asked the information, are you currently renting or do you own a home? If you're renting, how soon would you be buying? So this, I mean, this is about like 6 or 7 questionnaires, 7 question summary you need to fill. And out of that, I got about 200 plus buyers. I mean, there's a split between both buyers who I call like they don't have a home. Then I've got another 250 who already existing. They have a home or something. Made decent conversations and started understanding where they're in. But it was so busy that day I couldn't get a lot of information, but at least my name got out there, right? People who never knew about Srini Goli, they know about who Srini Goli is. Because I started advertising on local radio, they can relate, okay, this is the guy, right? I see my picture and everything splashed up in banners and posted in across the thing. So now when I take a call, I mean, take a phone number and call them and relate, hey, I met you at this particular place, they know who they're talking to, right? So that is what I did is like all the information that get captured on the iPads directly goes into an Excel. I took that Excel and just fed into a command, right? Boom. It doesn't, I mean, it's so easy for me to create that. Now I started nurturing these people for the last, I mean, this event happened like in October last year. So last 6 months, I started nurturing, calling, interacting, I mean, based on the interest. Some people unsubscribed me in my newsletters, that's okay. But when I see about good 10 to 15 people are my prospects, okay? That is the power of a database once you start effectively targeting, okay? So that's a simple, small story, my personal story, if it helps you to start planning and motivating, okay? So in order to, this is something they captured from the Millionaire Real Estate book. What they say is in order to effectively reach the million dollar real estate business, there are some things which are essential for you to do, which you have to actually mandatorily do that. Then other things which are effective in your business, and then something which exceptional is something where it's an automated system which can start to, as you start to build thing. I'm not there yet. At some point, I would like to be there, but these are the things. So let's go through these ones, right? What are the essential things for any database, right? You need a name, you need a contact info, you need past business and past contact record, and at-will communication. This one is easy for me because I was able to extract from my LinkedIn database. Those are the people I know, I've interacted with the past, not as a realtor, but as a high-tech engineering management background. And then at-will communication is like, because I've interacted with them, they know when they see me email from me or text from me, they know who Srini Goli is, right? That's the essential. So if I just start, and this is my initial sphere, right? Just focusing on this information, you could diligently do up to $1 million. You can become a millionaire agent if you consistently keep doing these things, right? But there are other things which you can start building on, right? So, today we don't have open houses, but there are other places where you can meet people, right? Through virtual things. But let's say you met someone in the open house and you got their names, right? Typically, I think this is what they will give you at a typical open house. They probably provide you their name, their contact information, at least their email or a phone. And then you, based on your communication, probably they would say, hey, okay, do you want, you can probably understand what their needs are. Are they actively looking, or they're actively planning to sell their current home? And depending on that, you can start to capture all that information and typically start saying, market and target them as you keep collecting those names. The critical thing is like, this is something, a story which I've heard while I was watching one of the presentations, right? There's a brand new agent in Texas, right? Who only thrived on doing open houses. She's just brand new. So all she does is open houses. And I think I've heard in one of the presentations, Wilson's done like 30, 40 open houses last year. And through every open house, they got the information, and they, this particular lady I was talking about in Texas, like she became like the rookie of the year and did like close to, I don't remember the number, like up north of like close to like 10 million plus in sales. For the size of Texas, I think that's a huge, right? Here if you sell 10 homes or if you do transactions, you reach that number. Other places is not that easy. But her first buyer, what came from the 35th open house, right? But during this 35, she's been diligently going and talking with them, nurturing them, understanding the thing. All that she was able to do because she started to have an effective database where she can go and start to refer back, right? Now, how can you make your database more, if you take it to the next level, right? This is something which I've been doing it. What they call like is segmenting and grouping your database. Every person is different, right? Every person has different interests. First of all, like as you keep conversing with them, you understand if they have kids, are they looking for good schools, or if their hobbies or something what they're interested. I mean, if they're interested in golf or sports, NBA, whatever, right? Based on the conversations you have, you can start to categorize your database and start tagging them, right? That is powerful because as your database gets bigger and bigger, you can start to target the relevant information that is useful. Let me give an example, right? Let's say you start effectively tagging and there are some folks who are interested in golf, right? They say, now if you find a house that is on a golf course in a country club kind of setting, you can effectively just, I mean, what are the chances of them to open your email showing a beautiful picture of a house on a golf course, right? For a person who's got that interest, it says, oh, it's interesting, right? They'll at least open and start to look at that one. So that you don't go and, then there are people who love dogs, right? Who things. If you want to target information about what's happening in the pets, the dogs and all that, that will entice them to open your emails, or when you send them whatever types of communication, just specifically targeted to their interests, their insights, right? That is why it's critical that we segment the group, and Command has a way of creating multiple tags. I can probably show you how, not probably, I will show you how to do that, so that as your database gets bigger and bigger, you can start to only target the information to the right set of folks, right? You don't want to bombard your entire database with non-relevant information. The more relevant information you give to them, the more useful it's going to be, okay? That's what it's going to talk about. Now, exceptional is something where I don't think Command is there yet. Basically, it's sending an automated custom communication built around triggers. Command has smart plans, but there's, I mean, right now they have a database, a birthday smart plan or a home anniversary smart plan, but it's not built around a trigger, right? What I would like to see there is automatically getting these things sent based on their birthday, a greeting card or email. You can create a smart plan which will trigger, but in some of the, I mean, I have a monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, which is triggered every month based on the data I've set them, right? What I'm like to see is like there, if you get a response, email response, it should also trigger based on the response, based on what they've responded, you can automatically start to send that. But Command is going to get there. I mean, it's not there yet, but there are still some automated smart plans which you can create. For some of the social media leads you get, I put them in an automated smart plan, which does everything for you, right? But these are the 3 levels of a millionaire database, right? Which are essential, which are effective, and which are exceptional. Even if you start doing number 1, which is the essential part, and start building upon that, you can definitely be successful. If you don't have anything, that is where people get frustrated and they keep wondering what's going on with their business, and then they give out the thing. But if you effectively start using a system and a process in place, it's gonna do wonders for you, right? So before I go to the next level, I mean, I'd like to take pause here, ask if anyone has any questions, and then go on to the next session. The next session is why use a database.
Yeah, how do you segment? You know, it's really a challenge to get like a mailer out, but the groups I find are, well, I have different groups. So having the group and having the mailer go through MailChimp seems to be a challenge because we have client look and commercial. So you have these different group systems. We have a different system. So it'd be nice to know how you got the group and then what you picked, just the logistics.
Okay. So I still do use MailChimp because command is tied to MailChimp, but command, they're planning to revamp their mailer program also, right? I'll tell you how I use the database, right? In my tagging, I've said who are buyers and who are sellers, right? And I've, based on the tagging or grouping, if I'm tagging only to buyers, I get that information from buyers, and then I can send email blast just targeted to buyers, right? You can create lists in.
Yeah, I guess the commercial one's a little different in that we use some of our buyers, we have differentiations on the food group, whether it's a multi-unit or an office or something. And do you have that in command where you can segregate like 10 different kinds of buyer types? I mean, some of them are vendors.
You could, I mean, do you use command now?
Well, we have our own. See, we have client look and then I have my own. And so that's what I wanted to know if that's what command could do. We need a definition of it's a buyer that's interested, not just a more interested buyer than the other, but let's say this person only wants manufactured home parks or he only wants multi-units in a certain area.
Okay, you can have multiple tags, right? For one buyer, you can create multiple tags, right? A tagging is basically what all their interests are, right? They can show up. If you have a buyer who is interested in multifamily, you can probably call them an investor and tag them as an investor, tag them as a multi-unit, and tag them as whatever. Like you can have like three multiple tags. And if you
I need to see the tag. Okay, good.
If you filter them by selecting all the three different tags, then it will show you who all fall under that criteria.
And then you can just take that tag and move it to MailChimp? Like all the people in one tag and move it as a group?
You need to create a list. The free version of a list in MailChimp is only you can create one list at a time.
Yeah, I know. That's the issue. You can only have up to 1,200.
If you use the non-free, but I think KW command is trying to create something equivalent. So you can create multiple lists. I haven't seen that yet, but that's what they've been promising, right? If you are not on the free version of MailChimp, yes, you can create multiple lists of all the people that meet your tagged criteria, right? And then just target that particular thing.
Okay, let me get a little more specific. I have groups and we have client. Okay, so you can make a group that can say, we wanted to go to all the other residential agents, or we want to go to both just agents because it's more so for certain stats and one for investors and one for people that like multi. So you have three different groups, let's say.
Right.
And then maybe we have one for our group. So we have 4 different groups. We want to send something out. If I make a tag, can I just say in command, like, do you have to download an Excel sheet and upload to MailChimp that group? Or can you say will it automatically go from that tag to MailChimp? I guess that's what I want to know. How do you get it from the tag to MailChimp?
Yeah, so from the tag to MailChimp, you select all the tags and create a list in MailChimp. Create a list in, so there are a couple of things you need to happen. You need to connect your MailChimp account to command, right? Which I think is a pretty straightforward thing, right? And in there, you need to create a list. The free version will let you create only one list. So that is the tricky part, right?
Yeah.
So, but you could do it, but you have to keep deleting and recreating that list over and over again.
Well, okay, maybe we should have an off, because we have on client look, I have 3 lists. So
yes, so I'm not familiar with client. I mean, I've used client look in the past when I was doing commercial, but I don't, it's got a lot more other information than what command has. But I think probably once I show you the demo, you might get some idea.
Well, maybe we could do it separately. You and I, or somebody with the commercial group, we could do it to see, maybe make it work.
Sure, sure.
I don't know if they're all interested as well. I don't know if they know how to do tags, but if people want to know tags, I'd still like to know that.
Okay, yeah. All right, okay, so let's get to,
Oh, we have a couple other interested.
okay. So now I covered what is a database and why use a database. Okay, I haven't covered why use a database, but I'll quickly go through before I give to Maha on how she helps you in developing your database. Okay. So the purpose of a database is to avoid the today's trap and get a predictable ROI, right? So I'll talk about those things. What do you mean by today's trap, right? Why use a database? There are two types of businesses, the today's business and tomorrow's. If you don't have a proper database and a system, you'll be only focusing on the people in your immediate sphere who are your today. And you only start focusing on them. Once those dry up, you don't have a business, right? This is pretty much the reason why majority of the people, they get frustrated, and within the first 2 years, they're out of business. I mean, that's the statistics show that, right? 80% of the agents who get their license, brand new license, they try it out, but they don't diligently follow a lot of these practices. They get frustrated, and after, I mean, they do pretty well in the first year or so. I mean, they do some business, but then because they're not building the system for tomorrow's business, they pretty much get frustrated and tapped out, right? Let me put that from a numbers perspective. So why use a database? Let's say there are 100 people in your market, okay? At any time, if there are 100 people in your market, if you count this, there are 65 people who are gonna be buying homes or looking for homes or prospective homeowners or already have homes. The 35 people are people who will probably never be buying a home. They are the renters, and they probably will be renting for the life, right? Your target is this 65 people out of this 100 in your market space. So if I count this thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. Yeah, 7. These 7 people are your today's business, right? And there are 58 other people off the market. They might not be buying today. They might not be buying next month. They probably are looking a year out, right? But if you only focus on the 7 people, which a lot of people, because there is a lot of competition for the 7 active clients today, right? Nobody is looking at the remaining 58 people, which are not shown here, right? That is where your database will need to start to keep nurturing them. If without a system, without a database, people fall into the trap of only focusing on what is there on hand, ignoring the big picture of what is out there, what you can start to target and potentially market to them, right? That's what it talks about. So a big pool, and the statistics tell that you have to keep working on the total pool of 65 people, okay? So this is some industry statistics, right? For every person in your database, every dollar you spend in your database, it will yield $10 to $14 in return, 10x to 14x, right? So what does it mean? You spend $1,000 on your database, you get $14,000 in return. Expect to get $14,000. And some people, I mean, there are data, or at least some of the KW agents in successful markets who've been practicing this system diligently, they've got the return about 40x, 40 to 1, right? My personal experience is like, I mean, I've invested quite a bit now for the last years. Now I'm nurturing these people, right? If remember I was telling you I gave a sponsored event and captured the data. I mean, I spent close to about $3,000 for that whole event, 3 to 4 grand. If I get at least, I mean, I'm actively nurturing like about 10 to 12 people from that whole pool of 400 people, right? If I get at least 3 to 4, I've made my commissions, whatever I spent, I made that plus more. But I have to keep nurturing them, right? I mean, I talk diligently on a daily, regular basis, not daily, at least a monthly basis. Some I work much more closely. That's what happens, why you have. And that is where I can get predictable business because I know who is going to buy this year, who's going to buy next year, and who's going to buy the year after. And as I keep nurturing and understanding, talking, I get to know more about that, right? So why use a database? It's pretty, because it gives you 3 important things, right? It's the lowest lead cost, right? It costs much cheaper rather than going and paying Zillow, right? Zillow leads cost you several thousands, right? Hundreds and thousands because people spend quite a bit on that. The conversion rate, if you properly maintain and build and nurture, it will start producing results for you with repeated clients and referrals from your existing system. And it pays for itself. A database makes it easier to do consistent follow-up. When you have a good follow-up, it will start to produce more results and leads, okay? I'd like to, because I think I've shown you why it is important to use a database, why it is gonna be helping you to achieve your real estate goals and expanding. I think Command has pretty much what all I've talked about. Command does that in a very predictable and precise manner. I just want to pause here and ask Brian, Brian Lee, who's been helping some of the folks. So Brian, if you can just unmute yourself and explain what you could do as a service for people who are not afraid of doing it or who have systems in other formats, do that. Okay.
Sure, thanks, Srini. Hi, everybody, I'm Brian, for those of you who don't know me or haven't met me. I love what Srini said earlier about that example with 100 contacts. Out of those 100 contacts, 7 of those are gonna be interested in buying or selling this year. So if you have 300 people in your database, how are you gonna seek out those 21? And how are you gonna seek out next year's 21? And having that database is important to find those people, to nurture those people, to make sure that they keep you top of mind. And the first step is getting your contacts into Command and then using it. But getting your contacts into Command is something that is daunting for a lot of people. If you have, whether it's 50 contacts or 100 contacts, they could be in different places. So we'd like to help you with that. If you have your contact list on your phone, your Gmail list, Yahoo list, emails, wherever, bring those contacts to me. We can put it into a spreadsheet and then we can upload it. The service that Srini was talking about is just, we'll meet a couple times to make that happen. The first meeting will be to clean up your list, get into a format where we can upload it. And then I'll take that and then I'll convert it into the CSV file for upload. And then I'll upload it. And then inevitably, whether you have 10 contacts or 100 contacts, there'll be errors. Phone numbers missing or just characters that are not valid. And then we'll make those corrections and upload again. And then we'll do it again and again until it's done. And so this is a service that a couple of people have taken advantage of in the office for $450, available to anybody in the office here. So if you have any questions, give me a call, give me an email. You have my information on the screen. And I will hand this back off to, I think, Maha. Maha's will be taking over for the rest of the presentation.
All right. So Maha, I think you can take over. Let me know as you want me to go through the next slide.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. I will be talking today about developing your database. Basically, once you have a database, if you don't work on it and if you don't touch it, it's useless. And in our business, it's based on your database as of today's work and then the pipeline. If you do not have pipeline, you're not actively 100% in the business. By being actively nurturing your database and using command to leverage the automatic communication with your database, is going to make such a big difference in your work, in your being known in the business, being on top of it, and using the technology is the best thing right now, especially during the COVID. So I'm going to go on the next slide now. Okay. So there is two things in our business, marketing and prospecting. Marketing needs money. As Srini had mentioned, you can try marketing, you can try to buy leads from Zillow, you can send direct mails, you can farm, but all that marketing, you have to spend money, and then after that, you're gonna see the result later on. You're not gonna see the result right away. It does not help you today. It will help probably in your pipelines. It's a long-term result. Prospecting is more as of today. What are you doing today? What are you working on today? You have a database, you're nurturing it, you're conversing with those potential client or maybe current buyer. You're being more proactive, not passive. You're gonna get right away immediate results. By being engaged with them, connecting to them through what is their interest. For example, I use prospecting in my Facebook page. I keep always talking to people. I'm always engaged. And in the last 2 weeks, I get people on the side messaging me, hey, I need to ask you a question about real estate. I'm not engaging about any subject in real estate, other just my posts, basically. But I'm engaging about their daily life. I check what they're doing, what they're posting. Always put something, always, even if happy birthday. This is how you connect to the people on what's going on in their lives. So to me, prospecting is when I check my Facebook and Instagram, I always have to put a comment. I not just like, not just an emoji. And that's the way it is right now. We're all connecting more likely through the social media. Marketing, we keep doing farming. We stopped farming at one point because saving on paper, we had open houses. I used to have a network event. I used to go to network event and my business would come from that event. I used to do festivals, Middle Eastern festivals, and like Srini did, but not at that high scale. I do a raffle and I catch them. I catch some of them. If I'm not nurturing my database, if I'm not talking to them one way or the other, I lost them. So during the COVID, I had more time to stay home. I started to look at all those, let's say the tickets for the raffles, and I started to look up those names on Facebook and I started to friend them and see what they're doing in their life. I can say from March to now, I have 3 potential clients from that. So in my way that I work it, it might be different for anybody, but just be thinking out of the box, see what everybody else is doing. Yes, open houses do not exist, network events do not exist, but we're still connected somehow with social media, with a text, if you have their contact, with your past client. Most of my listing, out of the 4, 3 of them, they're past clients. Because I said the market is changing. If you're thinking of selling this year or next year, sell now. I'm getting people to call me because I said that statement somehow on my social media. So being engaged, that helps a lot. But however, we only have 24 hours a day, and we are not going to be on the computer all the time. So I am the first to admit I'm not that great with the database. I'm still using Outlook. I have some stuff on Excel sheet, and I'm just starting to be more disciplined with anybody that that I have as a lead or as a ticket from my past event, or even when I talk to them, I always ask, hey, they always message me on the messenger. How about texting me on that phone number is better. This way I capture their phone number. I'm starting to put them in my database. I start to also put a note, what are their interests? How do I know them? Then I can tag them later on and put them on specific smart plans. As we go with the time, you want to nurture, you want to keep in contact with, well, if you think that they're going to be looking within 6 months to a year to either buy or sell, you need to start engaging with them today. It takes some time to close a listing. When I started in the business, I said like, wow, how do they get this business? And I can tell you, I've been working on one deal for 5 years. Hopefully that listing comes this year, but it takes time. However, I've not been using database. Knowing more and more command and knowing what it can do for me, just having the touches automatically without me being there, it makes people think that I am doing it every day, and then make them come back to me with some questions. So this is what I basically work on a daily basis. So you can market and you can spend money, but as somebody starting the business, you can prospect with past workers that you've worked past business, like Srini had done in LinkedIn. You can add them on your Facebook, on your social media. You show them how you're engaged in your business, but also mainly on a social life. Like you have to be engaged more and connect to them on a social. People don't like to see, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I work with KW, you want to sell or buy. It does not work anymore, especially after what's been happening this year. So connecting to your database is very, very important. Do you want to go on the next one, Srini?
Okay.
Okay. So now that you have the database and you get them from everywhere, you get them from your past open houses, you never had time to connect with them. You get them from past companies that you worked on. You have to tag it in command. And I'm using command. We're pushing more and more to use command because a bunch of us we've been using it, and we really see the leverage that you can do in your business, especially now. It's going to be more automatic. It could be also touching people in their interest, in their social life. It could be as far Happy Father's Day, you can put a smart plan, but if you tag them as a father or as a mother, then it goes automatically for you, a little email, maybe a text, and they will feel that you're there for them. This year I've done for Happy Mother's Day, instead of sending gift cards, I just sent text to everyone. I got 2 people who are interested to sell. They asked me, hey, thank you for thinking of us. How is the market? And the conversation started. And 2 of them want to sell their homes. Did not list yet, but the conversation is there. And I know they're not going to someone else. One of them is past client. One of them is just an acquaintance from my networking. So it could be someone who has not done any business, which is great. I have friends that they always want to buy for 5 years and they refer me 3 people already. So don't forget about those people too, because it's relationship. What we are in our business is a relationship. And I could say any business, any successful business is based on a relationship. It's who you know who's going to feed your business. So I have a few of them. I have past clients that refer me 6 people actually in the last 5 years. 6 closed transaction. When I say 6 people that I've worked and closed them. Active client, I tag them either buyer or seller. I put them on my opportunity. It also shows me my pipeline, and I set up how much they're buying until they get in contract or how much they're selling until I sign a listing. So I'm using command in that way too. Whenever I open command in the morning, I'm like, oh, okay, let me talk to that person. Let me, connect to that person. Just keep in touch with them because they're active. However, they're not ready to put off. They're not ready to list yet. Past client is very essential. My business is completely based on referral. My listings this year, they're all my buyers before, basically. So any new agent will start as a buyer agent, but eventually those are your seller. Either in 2 years, 3 years, just keep in touch with them. And the easiest way to keep in touch with them is through something automatic, database, nurture automatic. Yes, you can have time, but if I have 300, 400 people on my listing and I have 2 buyers, I'm trying to negotiate and show houses and I have 2 listings, I don't have time to talk to those 300. But I know eventually they could do a business in 2 months, they could do a business next week, next year. So you need to keep always in touch with them. When somebody refer me a business, actually what I do, and you guys can share your experience, and most of you, you've had referrals from other people. It could be someone that you worked with or some friend as well. When somebody refer me a name, I did not close or anything. I say thank you. I send a thank you card and a gift card, Pete's or Starbucks card for $20. They will always remember. It doesn't matter if I close or not. If I close, then I'm gonna send them something a little bit bigger. But that's as a thank you for thinking of me. Keep them on, bring them on. So, and this is really, really working. VIP, serial repeat, referral, yes. I've had clients that I've worked with them 3-4 transactions already. Either for them, either for their kids, and now they're referring me for their friend who's buying and their kid is getting married, who's buying too. So one person, you really take good care of them, it could result in 6 transactions. And if you don't have the time, use command to leverage all this communication, keeping in touch with them. Very important. Hobbies and interests. Okay, example. Okay, there's a lot of people I met through, my daughter is a golfer. I met through maybe watching her tournament, tagging with them. Like Srini said, if you send those people and you tag them as a golf, this is gonna bring their attention. You're not just a real estate agent, you connect to them. Okay, everybody knows that I like dancing and live music and concert. Hey, I can send to those people from command a Facebook event and send it to them this way. I'm connecting to them to the level of their interest. It interests me as well, but that's another thing too, that you can use the tagging. Property type, okay, somebody is looking to buy multiple units and they want to live or rent. So you can see what's their interest. If it's multiple units, then I will set them up on multiple units, not a single family. Investors, I will set them on some flips. Those ones I would do most of the time by a search, like manual search. And if I see some potential flip homes, those investors, I would send them one email. If they're tagged probably as a flip, I can send an email to the tagged contact as flip. And that is gonna be meaningful email to them. That's keeping in touch with them. Vendors, During the COVID, I called every lender to find out how they're doing their business, what is the changes, and by knowing what are the changing in the lending, it gave me much better position to converse about the changes that is happening. It gave me much more advantage over somebody else that doesn't know what's going on, and they find out once they're in a transaction and something is not working. So I give a heads up, okay, this is what's happening. When buyer comes to me and tell me, oh, I want to buy this much and I want to go 5%, 10%, I just tell them there's no 5, 10% anymore with the banks. It's only on the on private lending only. When somebody also come and tell me I want to refinance and cash out, or I want to have an equity line, by talking to those lenders, I know there's no more equity line. You cannot have an equity line on your home. So if a past client call me and say, hey, do you have a contact? I want to have a equity line. I tell them, no, it does not exist, because I know what's going on. So talking to vendor also, it's very important. And of course, I cultivate some leads and say, hey, if you have any buyer that walking in and doesn't have an agent, please send them my way. You know that I'm gonna close the deal. So those are the vendors that I deal with. Also contractors, I always tell them, if you're working with somebody on updating their home and you know there is a potential they're selling, call me, contact me. So keeping also in touch with vendors, it's advantages. Probably you get maybe one deal every 2 years, but that one deal I can also have referrals later on. So I always think of one client, I know I'm gonna cultivate 2 other transactions from them eventually. So segmenting them, tagging them is very, very important. It makes it so easy when you want to send a communication to them, or also it's perfect for setting them on smart plans. What is good for them in regards the property type, and regards areas that they're looking at, all that can be also accounted in the smart plan. Engage with the touch plan. I'm going through the topics here at the bottom.
The next slide.
Yes, yes, we can.
This is the one.
Yes, yes, and I believe you guys have it on page 5 in your guides. The same breakdown. So the leads, they're leads. You don't know where they're going. They're going to be yours, or they're going to go somewhere else, or they're going to be long-term. We don't know anything, what's going to happen. So when you keep in touch with them with a phone call, I prefer text a lot of time, because people are working from home right now, and I don't want to bother anybody late at night. That's my way. You guys may be much better in phone call. I let them call me by just texting something, or I can text maybe a website of a listing that I have, and I ask them, hey, do you know anyone would be interested? Please let them call me. That's another way I kind of show them that I am active in business, and I show them what are the listings on the market, and they might even themselves call me and say, hey, can I go see it? Do you have a virtual tour? And I've got that actually last week from somebody that I never worked, and just texted them a website. Just another way of free marketing for me. Monthly email, newsletter, market report, video, this is all can be done by sending smart plans, by also sending emails with landing pages. You use some design, there's tons of design you can use in Command. It's ready for you. You plug in a number and you put wording that has a message, and you touch them this way. Keep them engaged, and it could be as a lead, it could be change in the lending, as simple as that. Promotional, direct mail, magnet, calendar. Okay, we do the calendar, that's just direct mail. Command also has a direct mail right now. You can, with one click, get a design and direct mail your database based on the tagging. That's another thing too, is ready already in Command and not everybody knows about it. So it's a one-stop that you have everything. Annual event, party, movie, we're gonna have to wait for that until they open everything, no social distancing. However, I've been also sending interesting videos, like when the taxes, Zoom came, taxes, PPP, all that information, I shared it on my page, and I started to send text on the messenger to people that I know that they have businesses. Hey, why don't you check this? It's live right now. It wasn't even my event, but I knew that this would benefit them. And then 3 of them, they thanked me. They couldn't thank me enough. And one of them did not work with one lender. He called me back, hey, do you have another lender can do the PPP for me? I directed them and it was successful. But just giving this information, showing them that you know your business and you know what they need, you're the first one. Already the trust is built. So from those things that you do, easily they're moved to your contacts and you can nurture them. The conversion. So that's a connection, but I can convert through also all those touches, all those leads. If I go into the contacts, touch campaign, telephone calls, bi-weekly email, again, this is can be done easily by your by Smart Plan, anniversary, home anniversary. I also do something to my contacts, my sellers. I pick every 3 months people that they've bought 4 or 5 years ago, and I start to get a CMA together and I mail it to them. And I note into my database that I've mailed that to them. And one of them came to me, oh, the market is changing. After 3 months, they see that the value went down. Hey, what's happening? We hear that everything is still selling. Well, not every house sells with multiple offers. So I get a conversation out of that. This is my contact. Maybe I'm thinking they're not gonna sell, but it turned to be they're thinking to sell, and fair enough. They're transferring right now, and we're listing their home probably next week. So just by sending the CMA, and you could also send the CMA by email, but it's gonna have to be manual, each one at a time. Promotional direct mail, again, you can do that. Actually, the promotional direct mail for my contacts that I do is when I close listings in the city or a neighboring city, I want to show them that not only I have listing, I show them that I've closed, even if it's 6 months apart, the listings, and that shows them that I'm active in their neighborhood. So I closed 2 in Santa Clara, so I send them direct mail and I included them. So that's another thing, show that you are active, and at the same time, you are not asking for business, but you're there for them. Just keep in touch and keep engaged. And a lot of things, I've started also use Command to use the Smart Plan, because that's a leverage. That's keeping in touch with everybody without me being there. And I wait for them to call me at this point. So tending it over time, that's exactly what I'm doing between leads. I'm converting to contacts so easily. And now I'm more and more active in Facebook, Instagram. So my daughters, they get more business from Instagram. I feel like it's on a younger age. So for you who are younger age, be involved and engage more on Instagram. And again, people will connect to you based on your social interest. And my Facebook, I connect to people on what's going on in the market, what's going on in our life. And people come to me through Messenger, and I turn those leads into contact and into businesses. So far, 3 of them being turned into business. And I did not intend even that. I just wanted to be engaged with people. I felt so bad that people are all depressed during the COVID, but it's coming as a business. So it come back to say that relationship is very, very important for everyone. Started to talk on small videos, and people are listening. And I share it to different groups as well. If you ever do a small video, try to connect to different groups. I have the Lebanese group, I have the Egyptian group. Okay, I don't speak in Arabic, but I speak in English. Everybody relate to me, maybe because they see me in event, and at the same time, people who would never see me in event, they see that I'm kind of active in the community, and it's not all about business. It's about what's good for buyer and seller. It's in general to tell them what's going on, but it's not all buy with me or sell with me. So we can go on the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it to Srini now. And guys, if you have any questions, I don't know, Srini, when do you wanna open for question or checking the chat?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go over, I mean, this one, the deck says like, how do you create a custom tag or tags? I'm gonna show you that. And also we'll just rearrange like, because there is about a demo on how you add contacts into command and how do you follow up, right? Actually, I think we've talked for a good hour and 15 minutes so far. Now I'd like to probably show you real hands-on. And for folks who are starting for the first time, you can follow along with me. Start to add your first contact if you haven't. That way we can get it through thing. I am planning to add a real contact, which is a vendor, which I happen to start interacting recently. I just saved that so that I can add the contact live and then see how I use my database. I mean, I'm willing to share how I use and how I nurture my database. Then I think we can have a follow-up questions, try to answer, and then we can wrap it up with ahas after that. Okay, sounds good? Since, okay, let me end the show. Okay. So, can you see my command screen? Okay. So for, I don't know how many of you haven't been using, so Maha, if you know, because I can't see the chat from here.
Can you guys tell us how many of you did not use command?
If anybody brand new to command, that's something which probably.
Maybe half, half of the attendee. Don't be shy, we'll help you.
I can't see my chat here, but.
Philip, okay, brand new, Philip Arroyo. Diana San.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I can see the thing. So let's get started. So for people, I'll start from a brand new page. So if you haven't logged in, agent.kw.command will take you to the command website. Okay, so it's already knows my password because I pre-populated that, so it will go log in. Okay. So this is the home screen of a command, and for brand new folks, I think you should probably set up some time to get these things all set up. If you click on the right click here where my face is, there is the settings tab where you can go and set and pick up all the different things. This is a separate class by itself, but I just wanna touch base on the tags part, which I think I want to show you. So if you're following me, like the command settings on here, then the custom tags, this particular one. So these are all the different system tags and then personal tag. If you look at my particular thing, there are about 37 tags. I'm only viewing the top 10 here. So everything that is created by the system is going to say created by the system. These are all available for everybody. And if I keep going, these are the ones I've created myself. HomeBot, my country club list. DDD is the Diwali Dhamaka fair I talked about. Again, Sulekha is one other thing where chart. These are all the things I've created, right? And then if we do the D2DT tagging mechanism, I think that's a separate way of contacting people. I've created the D2DT tags also, and I've assigned those contacts in there. If I need to get into who those people are, this is one easy way of tagging them, right? Who are all the contacts tagged for that particular thing, right? I didn't see this invalid email address. It's a system tag. And then these are all the other things. So let's go and create a tag. I don't know if I've seen a vendor tag. Let me show 50 here. Okay. So I'm going to add a new tag today because I'm trying to start tagging some of my vendors. So I'm going to create mortgage broker. Okay. This is a person I plan to add today, and so I'm going to create a tag. You can create tags with color just to give you some flavor on how it is. It's personal choice how you want to do that. Okay. For now, let me select them as this color. Okay. So is it tag created? Yeah. So here you see how you create a tag. Okay. So I think there is no limit. You can probably go crazy and start creating as many tags as you want, how you want to segment your clientele, right? If you want a dog lovers, golf interests, whatever, you can create as many tags as possible. And multiple tags can be assigned to one contact. Okay, fair enough? Good. So now we've got that thing going. The left second icon here is what is called the contacts. So just give a minute for the system to load up. So this one, I've defaulted my system to last visited, basically because I have a whole bunch of smart plans that are being running. So I know who actually has visited any of the smart plans in the last few days. So I want to know who's actively looking. That's why I've configured here on who. Me and Brian and Maha were playing. So yesterday I was playing. That's why I chose myself as the. I'll just give you a overview of the command database for folks who are brand new. That way we can also see the power of this one. So this is my current contacts. I've got a total of 1,329, which I've gradually started building and adding, right? It's a medium-sized database. I've seen folks who have 3,000. Then there's folks who have like 100 or less than 100. Irrespective, you need to start tending and nurturing, right? If I go to the top, the first one, the dashboard kind view, here it gives me a database health comparison, right? I turn this thing on, agents in my market center, just to see how am I doing compared with the agents in my market center. This particular thing gives a pictorial or graphical view of all the contacts I have, how many have phone numbers, and how am I doing with other agents in my market center, right, in KWSC Silicon City. How I have emails, how many I have. The green is me, and gray is the market center. How many people I have addresses, and how many did I put them in some kind of neighborhoods, okay? This tells me how I am doing with other people. If you don't like to do that, you can turn it off. You can compare it within the state, a whole bunch of other things. This particular, because I've spent quite a bit of time making sure I get as much information as possible for each of my contacts, because the power is in how you nurture them, how you start doing that, right? Within our Silicon City, I think we are doing good on phone numbers and emails, but I think we've got good things for improvement in addresses and neighborhoods. Okay, anytime you are over 50, it will turn green. If you're under 50, good. Let's now go add a contact. Okay, if you again go back here, and on the top right, you see add contact. The import is something where if you are planning to import from an existing database, you could do that. And this is what Brian was telling in the before, where he can assist you if you need to move over an existing database. So let's get started. So this is how you enter a new contact. As I said, I want to enter the new, let me just get this contact information. So I'm just entering one of the new contact I got, who is a lender. His name is Jack. Okay. So each of these ones have a weighted, a percentage of score, right? Let me see if I enter his name. Okay. This is it. Once you enter the name and give a personal email, each of this is 20%. Okay. Let me just save and then come back. Okay, I've created a new contact. Now if I go back and check Jack and search Jack. Okay, this is the contact I just entered a few seconds ago. If you see here, his health score is 20 because I only added his name. So his name gets 20%. As I keep populating, the score keeps increasing. And then if I start interacting, the right side is the current activities thing that will start populating. So if I want to add or edit, this is where I do. This is the edit button here. So let's go back and add more details for Jack. Okay. Okay. So I have his email number. Oh, so that's his email number. I did get his cell phone. Just by adding these three, you are gonna add 20% for your name, 20% for your email, 20% for the mobile or any phone. And now I can mark him as a lead or something. So he's not a lead, but then remember I created a tag called mortgage broker. I can assign a tag for him now. Since if I wanna call him and assign the D2 DW model, last name is R. So I can also put him in the N and R. If at all I need to keep calling him. So I can assign multiple tags for him. Okay.
Srini,
Yes.
I can also show that you can also create a tag here.
Yeah, if it's a brand new, you don't have a tag. Let's say I want to create a new tag. If I go and create, it doesn't show up. So now it shows you can create a custom tag here. So this is another way. If you want to create a new tag, brand new one. The other way I showed you is like if you have your tags lined up, you can do it all in one shot, or you can, on the fly, you can create a custom tag, which will again take you to the same place which you talked before. There are two ways, multiple ways, okay? So now.
It's like
Yeah.
when you import, before you import your database, probably you have all the list of the tags you're gonna be using, but as you enter a new one, it's easier way to do it this way.
Right. So now I can go and add more information. I just want to show you, if I save, how does its score improve, right? Okay, now if you look, his score has improved to 64%, plus 20% for name, 20% for phone number, 20% for address, email, and then 4% for tags, okay? I don't have any of the other information, but let's say I interacted with him and I was able to get his address, okay? So then I come back here and add more information. There's multiple things you can add here. I'll just walk through what all you can add here and we'll add what we can. So add contact information. If you have more emails, you can actually give his work email or other emails. This is where you can add the additional emails. You can also tag what is the preferred method of contact. He prefers email, so I can mark as email. If there are any additional phones, if you have other phones, home phone, work phone, blah, blah, you can also keep adding additional information, right? Then you can add his address. I have his work address. The beauty of that is if I start typing the address, command will start to pre-populate or do the search and minimize this thing. Okay, he is in Burnett Avenue, Concord. So that is his address. There is a suite number. So I go and add a suite or an apartment number for an apartment folks, whatever, okay? Now, if I create same as mailing address, it will help me to create mailing labels when time comes for me to send them any mailers, right? If I'm doing my own mailing, if I want to send something. So I say same as mailing address. So if I'm doing a Facebook campaign based on address and the location, this will help you also to do that, okay? Now, social profile. This is something where you can add, if you know their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google, Snapchat, a whole bunch of other stuff. That way it will start linking you, right? For my friends, I add both Facebook and LinkedIn. I've done for quite a few. For Jack, I don't know, but I can go and find if he has a LinkedIn account. Like I go to LinkedIn and I'm just trying to be as, my goal is to get how close can I get. So I just check Jack here. So he does have a LinkedIn. So I copy this, Control C, go back and select, that is LinkedIn here, LinkedIn, and paste it. Boom. Okay. If I save, now my score should probably be about 88%. Okay. Now, if you notice, because I've entered the address, it's shown me which neighborhood this person is in. And because I've tied my email with Jack's, it went and showed all the communication I had with Jack on here recently. You see the power? Because I've been working with him on one of the other transactions now. I've seen all that. Now it's created Jack's neighborhoods. And if I want to put him on a smart plan, I can go and create a smart plan for Jack. Or I can add additional neighborhoods for him and start showing that. So now you see it's created the LinkedIn profile and all that. I don't know his birth date or home anniversary or other stuff. I do know about the company and title. I can probably go add that. Right? Since I'm here, let me go get that information too. So go back, add more information. So it's in the about field. Yeah. So his company is called, what's called Loan Depot. And its title is Loan Consultant. Okay. You can really go and get it as much as possible, but since I know, I'll just add that. So that's all the information I have. So this is a contact. Now you can start to, if you type the thing, like all the email conversations you had with him start showing up here. I showed you, it's quite a bit of conversations. Okay. So that is how you start. Now, if you have 100 people, I don't think it's feasible to enter one at a time. But if you're adding 5 contacts every day, this is a pretty straightforward, good way of doing it. Agree? Okay. Any questions so far?
So this is George. Are you going to add the smart plan for based on
I don't know if you're breaking up. Is it for me or anybody?
So they will receive the nurture or the like. So first is how do you get in the neighborhood for every lease? Because I don't for my database I don't have the address for everyone. So do you particularly ask for their address?
Yes. I typically, if I go back to my database, okay, I spent quite some time to get the addresses for people, right? Remember I was telling you I went and got the addresses. See, here also I have some which I don't have addresses because I don't know where they're staying. This particular person is actively interacting. I don't have his address, but he told me that he's interested in this Dublin area for his new homes, right? So I go and select add neighborhood here because I don't have his address, but I still want to send him a smart plan, right? Smart plan where he has got relevant information. Once I put him on a smart plan, he started visiting that smart plan. So he said he's interested in Dublin area. So let me put add neighborhood here. What I do, this is a trick or tip, what you can do, find on map, right? If you don't have an address, it will show you the entire United States map, okay? Now you can go search Pleasanton. Let's say I want to add Pleasanton, okay? I just pick Pleasanton Avenue. It will take me to Pleasanton now. Now I can start to drill down, keep pressing. I think you probably should be familiar with some neighborhoods. This is a downtown Pleasanton. I don't know if he's interested there. Canyon Oaks, it will start giving you different neighborhoods, right? Okay, if you know which areas he's probably be interested in or in his price range, you can select that, okay? I go downtown, Delpad. Delpad is already there. Okay. So save. Now you see it's added one more Canyon Oaks in that for his thing. I don't have his address, but I know what area he's planning to buy a home, right? Now it says he's subscribed to Canyon Oaks. Delpad is already there, so add it. Then it will suggest some neighboring neighborhoods here. If you want to add on them, you can start to add those things too, okay? Not everybody needs to have an address, but if you know which area they're interested in or roughly which area they live in, you can probably target that. I mean, I've created smart plans for folks I don't have address, but approximately, in my conversations, I remember the event I was talking about where I captured information. They roughly told me I'm interested in Warm Springs area. Okay, they don't give me an address. I go put a neighborhood on Warm Springs and start sending them. So, this person is pretty actively looking. So it tells me he's viewed consistently this whole bunch of listings in that. So he's actively looking at the smart plans I'm sending him. I made a call last week because I know, okay, he's actively looking. Then I found out that he's actively interested in buying a home in the next 3 months, 4 months. So now he became an active lead for me. So I marked him as an active lead here. Now I put him in opportunities and start to nurture him. Okay?
Can I add something, Srini?
Sure.
There is a way to find the address if you have the correct first and last name from the title company profile.
Yeah.
You just put the county.
Not if he doesn't have a home, you can't.
Yes, if he doesn't have a home, then, but this
Yeah.
is how you figure out if he has a home or not.
This is a new guy who's living in an apartment. He doesn't have a home.
Okay.
So, yeah.
For the people that you have first and last and you're not sure, you can always go check the API and check on the profile. Mostly it's going to be Santa Clara County. It goes by the county. You can search by the county.
Yeah. So that's all I've created. And now, if I go to my smart plans, where are they? Here. So these are all the different smart plans I created. I think I've created a smart plan for leads I get through my Zuleika. the leads. This is a smart plan I've used during the COVID time, where I interacted them through, it's a simple texting. It's a 3 touches, 7 days. I sent a text basically saying, hey, we met at the Diwali festival. How are you guys doing? Anything I can help you, right? This is the beginning of COVID. This is a text. I waited 3 days and then I sent an email. And once if I get a response, I take them out of the smart plan. And then at the end, I again text something, right? I just did 3 touches for all this 400 folks. It doesn't show how many because the smart plan ended, but I pretty much touched all the contacts I got, the 400 contacts I got from that single event. I did 3 touches with them. Some of them are happy, some never responded back, but at least a good chunk, about 40, 50 people are appreciative that I remembered them and I texted them. How I did that, I have a Twilio account. Twilio sends a text. The email goes out. I mean, I didn't do anything. It's just adding them into the smart plan and it did the work for me. So the people that got the text are appreciative of that and cool, right? And then this I did for people who I didn't meet, a quarantine COVID plan for the remaining folks who are part of not through the Diwali event. Then I have a Facebook follow-up text plan. I currently have about 600 people on my monthly neighborhood. Every month, 600 of these people. I had about 800 plus. Some of them are incorrect email addresses, so they never got through. A few of them unsubscribed. But that is 1 touch every month. So it's like 12 touches. If you're looking at that 19 touches or 26 touches, right? Then I have, these are my anniversary ones. For my past clients, I have a plan to engage them and do whatever.
George, are you talking to us or maybe you're
Sorry about that.
You can just, perfect. Okay.
Okay. Any questions? Let me go through the questions I haven't gone through.
I've been answering some, but
Okay.
you can pick it up.
Okay, Amanda was asking, what is the follow-up system for the leads from the events? I don't know if I've answered those, Amanda. I think I've put them on the smart plans and follow up and mark them with different leads. I use them by sending MailChimp newsletters. If it's buyers, I send them targeted low interest rates, good time to buy, and all those. I mean, I don't bug them too much, but at least I send them once a month just to know that I'm there if you're interested in buying. Just to let them know, hey, the market is heating up, the rates are low. What does it take to buy? And all that stuff, right? The good stuff like that. Questions before I stop sharing this one?
Rini, hi, this is Virginia Thomas. I have a question.
Okay.
I have worked with Market Leader to import my contacts, and it appears as though the first 100 are blank. How do I delete them out of contact now with their, there's no information?
You want to delete that?
When they were imported, I guess there were some blanks. There was no information. So when it shows that I have 430 contacts, but if I try and go to the first one, it's way, way down the list. And so I've got all these blank lines. How do I delete those?
Okay. Okay. So I have a test buyer here, right? This one, I need to, let's say I want to delete this one. I was adding it for some reason here. Let me go and delete this one. You go to the test buyer here, okay? There is something called archive. If you archive the contact, it will just take it out of the system, but it actually won't delete it, okay? Are you sure you would like to archive the following contact? Say yes, okay? Now the trick, if you don't want, because this guy is still there, now if you try to add them back with the same email or something, it will show that, hey, the system is still there. The trick is if you go to your settings, sorry.
Let me stop you. I'm talking about an actual box that is blank. Not one that's filled in, it's blank.
Blank contact completely?
It's completely blank. It's like, yeah.
But that, can you show that, does anything show up there in the contact?
No, there's nothing there. So that's what I'm saying is that when it got uploaded, the first contact didn't start until like row 91. So I want to delete those other rows so I can move the contacts up.
Okay.
You can
Does
take-
it show like this? You probably
No.
have, no?
There's nothing there, absolutely nothing.
No, but it shows like blank, but it shows nothing there, right?
Right.
Then you select all those blanks. You can do one at a time or whole bunch. Mine, I've got like 50, right? You select all of them. There is a bulk action here. Then there is bulk action of going and archiving those. All this, right now mine shows some names, but if you're having 90, you go and select 50, then archive. Try that now.
Where did you see our archive?
on the top.
In the select bulk action here, I'm showing you. Does your screen look like mine?
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I'm sorry. I didn't click hard enough.
Okay, if you see archive, you can probably select all those 91 or it can do only 50 at a time.
Okay, I did do that. I'm not sure what happened because something happened.
I mean, probably from 91 they're gone to 89 now. So if you've done couple, right? I'm not doing here. Okay.
Well, I'll do that. I was a little bit nervous, not knowing, what would happen. So I'm doing.
It's like archive will just move them to archive. What you really need to do is after you move them to archive, go to your settings, command settings, contacts, contact archive. It will show all the people you removed. So you need to select these people and actually delete from here. Delete selected permanently. Okay.
Okay, I'm missing. I am missing a row, a column somehow, because I can see the house, I can see the other things, but I don't see. Where did you get to command settings?
On the top right here, you see my picture here.
Yeah.
If I click that, do you see settings? If you click your picture on the top right, you should see profile and settings.
I see my picture if I, yes, thank you. I see it. I just clicked on it.
You see settings, right?
Yeah, I haven't been working on this a lot. Now I see it. Thank you.
Click on settings, then you see command settings on the left.
Yep, I got it.
Then go to contacts.
Got it.
Contact archive.
Okay.
Those two people or whatever the blank things should show up here. And sorry. See, for me, I have like 20. If I do 50, these are all the things that are duplicates or something. See the test buyer I have here. If I want to restore, I can go back and restore this database, or I can just go and.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's 10. So I deleted 10. And there's.
Yeah. And then you can delete those selected permanently. If you select those things, that way they'll all go away. So then you can start fresh. Okay.
Okay, thanks. That helps me a lot. I'll probably bug you about how you got all the LinkedIn information in. Because I think I could clear up a lot of my contacts if I don't find them in LinkedIn. I want to find them in LinkedIn. If they're not there, I don't have enough information on them. So I'll probably end up.
You just go and search your name on LinkedIn. I mean, if you're in their clientele or Facebook, maybe.
Or Google, even Google.
Okay, thanks. I made some progress.
Perfect. Any questions? I think we are,
There is one from Alice Srini. She's asking, you use MailJet or MailChimp, and maybe you want to elaborate about even using regular command email soon, or it's already on?
yeah. So I use MailChimp. I haven't used MailJet, but, oh no, actually I do. No, MailJet is, their smart plans are used through MailJet. If I go to my reports here, okay. So all the emails that get sent out, I remember I have the smart plan. There's 67, all these emails are sent through MailJet, right? I think we have a limit of 5,000 per month, which I think is plenty for most of the agents. If you are doing smart plans, this budget goes through this one. Last month, let's see, how many did I do last month? I did only 585. So this is through MailJet, and the emails I do tagging and all that through MailChimp. I use both. Does that answer your question, Alice?
Is Alice here or she left?
Yeah, Srini, it answered. Sorry.
No, I was looking
To
because I have,
open my microphone.
no, that's okay.
I
just
was
have two rows.
thinking like, because during one of the tech people who came to do the talk in our office, they were telling us that MailChimp is being phasing out, and then now we have to use the MailJet. So right now I haven't used either one of them. So should I just concentrate on MailJet then?
I think, Command is working diligently to revamp that mail system. And I think they're making progress as we speak, but I don't have clear timelines. Most of the mails, if you're sending through Command, it's through MailJet. And we have a MailChimp integration. If I go to, where is that? Then somewhere I have that admin smart plans. But MailChimp, I use it aside from not through Command, but separately out of Command.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If not, I think that's all I wanted to show from Command, at least how I use it, how I interact with it. I hope it's useful.
Do you wanna go to the?
So let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So I think we just wrapped up on the demo part. I hope it was useful. Something learned by folks here. Basically, what this is entailing is you have to keep building your database and regularly update and prune your database. Why they say prune is like, if you've diligently been working day in, day out, some of the persons might have moved out, they passed away, or they married some realtor, so you know they won't come to your business. So
That happened to me once.
so yeah, it happened to me too.
Yeah.
I know.
I said, okay, good luck.
Brother who's a realtor, I said, like, oh, they're not going to use me. I don't know, but I assume, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's how it's important to go back and clean up your database. If they move jobs or change their phone numbers, whatever, right? So that's the thing you want to do, okay? So let's recap, and I want to hear from you people. I think, Mark, you can probably take it from here. Just get the...
Thank you, Srini. Thank you, Maha. Thank you guys for taking the time and sharing your expertise with all of us. especially with this very, very, very important topic we have, and that's implementing command into our business. And it's very relative and important because this is really the database, guys, is really where the value is in your real estate business. The people that are willing to do business with you, that are willing to take advice from you and listen to your communication, right? That can be leveraged down the road as you're nearing the end of your career. Maybe you're no longer wanting to do as much work, but you still have a database. If you have a database, obviously, you have something of value and something that you can then leverage for income down the road, right? You can leverage your database to junior agents that are just getting into the business, let them do all the fulfillment, but you take a referral fee on all the leads that are generated from the people that you know, because they have power because of your endorsement, right? Without your endorsement, those leads are not as valuable for the next agent. But if you've done a diligent job of building your database, the people in the database that are communicating with you trust you and like you, they'll be able to then trust and like whoever you endorse, and then you can get compensated for those referrals. So keep that in mind and make sure you guys are doing a diligent job of leveraging command and getting into your databases.
Hey, Mark?
Yes.
We have 2 more slides just to wanted to emphasize, there's a couple of ways to really get more deeper and more understanding in command. And
please, Maha, go ahead, take it, show us, share.
Srini, can you turn to the slide 30? Yeah. So basically, Connect, it's on your MyKW. It would have a lot of tutorials that would take you step by step. And if you want to be more precise and easy videos, we've included some important links on that page to get help. The most that I would really encourage you, if you even don't know anything about technology, go to the 60-day challenge 4.0. 10-15 minutes each video. It could talk one day about how to create a contact, another day how to create a smart plan, another day how to create your CMA for the seller, how you create your website. And it does not take time at all. 15-20 minutes, you can even do it the last thing in bed, and if you cannot sleep, you just watch it and you will absorb much more because it's very, very user-friendly. It has nothing to be with tech experience. And also, we really want to push everybody, if you have not done anything with command, start reaching out to Jacqueline and Olivia, because they can set up everything in your setting, your logo, your picture, and then after that, you get into importing the database. That's very important. We have all the leverage for you to start and make your business much better. And you focus on what you're doing today and let the database, let command work for your pipelines, basically. So please take note of all those links. The Connect is basically has a tutorial videos, KW University. The ideas.kw, it includes, if some feature you don't see it there, you go and search for the feature on that website, and if you find someone had already put that idea, you're gonna see votes. You just vote on it one more time. This is how the developer, they look at what are the users looking at and what do they want. And eventually, if they have a high count of the votes, they will start develop it. Answers.kw.com is for support tickets. You have to use Loom video. Take a video of the issue you're having, and you can upload the support ticket directly to answers.kw.com. Sometimes it's a small question. Me, Srini, Olivia, Jacqueline is there. We're also soon we're gonna be publishing the tech committee. We're including more individuals that they are more and more experience in command to help everyone. So at the end of the day, whatever you can to improve your business and to continue your business. That's it.
Okay, let me go back to the ahas. Okay.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Maha. So guys, any ahas from today's session? How has your thinking changed? Any ideas or new mindsets, state of mind with regards to command? Has today's session changed your perception at all? Feel free to answer or text in the comments or unmute yourselves.
Mark, this is Virginia Thomas.
Virginia.
Hi. Yeah, the more I get on it, which isn't enough, the more I realize that it's a great kind of like command center where I can achieve a lot. And right now I'm trying to clean up my contacts, but I do need to meet with Jacqueline if they can set up the things with the logos and stuff like that. It's nice to know that that help is there. But I think this is going to be great for business, better than eEdge was, I believe. And so it's going to be nice to learn it.
Oh yeah. I think it's much more powerful than, well, yeah, much more powerful than what eEdge was. And it's much more flexible with the way that it scales with the tags and whatnot. And it's one thing I think it's important to keep the tags organized and effective. So that way, when you do mass marketing, you can be the most effective as possible, right? We want to separate people that are potential buyers, sellers. And then we also want to make sure that we're building our businesses so the other real estate agents that we come in contact with too, right? We want to put those into our command and tag them appropriately so that when we have events or whatnot that you want to grow your downline, that you can quickly invite all the agents that you're close with and help build your passive income business through Keller Williams.
That's the one thing that didn't happen is because I had my contacts tagged like agents or lenders, and I don't have anything. So I'll go back in and do that on each contact that I've now, moved over there.
Right. Very good. Very good. Yeah, guys. I mean, according to MREA, right, if you have an effective database, you can adequately plan for the amount of income that you're going to receive and how many transactions you can practically count on from your database, right? In MREA, the statistics go, right, 2 and 12, 2 moves for every names in your database. It goes down to 1 to 6 because they're saying on average people move every 6 to 7 years. This study was done a few years back, right? I think people are staying in their homes maybe a little bit longer, and we want to maybe pad things a little bit for, I guess, convenience sake, and go 1 to 10 and say, hey, for every 10 names in my database, if we're working it effectively, then we should be able to count on a transaction, right? But that only works if you have a really good, effective database. And what that means is you have all the data and you have a relationship with the people that are in that database, meaning you're constantly in contact with them, not only with the phone, not only with the emails and the social media, but really reaching out and touching them with phone calls and having those conversations, because those conversations are going to really lead to that business, right? And over time, things change in people's lives. Srini mentioned, people get married. They may marry a real estate agent. Someone's adult child can go get their real estate license. And now you know that those people, they're not going to transact with you anymore, or until at least 2 more years until that person decides either to stay or go in the business, right? So we want to be able to always add new people to our database. And that's what we're doing when we're doing this lead generation, right? We're looking for people that are going to work with us, that are open to hearing our communication. And we do that by offering services. We offer our mobile application. We offer a neighborhood update. And those are the triggers to be able to get people to refer you business, right? So when you're making your calls, if people are, are you receiving my neighborhood updates? Do you find them valuable? And if people agree, say, great. Do you know anyone else who would also benefit from this information? And try to get them to share with you their contact information so you can add them to your database. So they may or may not have an immediate need. You'll know when you call and follow up. But you do call and follow up, welcome people to your database, let them know of all the great things they'll be receiving from you over the course of time. Obviously, get their permission to maintain that, and always ask them if they'd feel comfortable referring you business. Right? If people feel comfortable referring you business, then they will refer you business, but you have to ask for it. And that's one of the ways, simply direct. Do you feel comfortable referring me business? And see what the people say. And if it's no, then it's, well, what can I do to expand my experience and earn your trust? Right? And if it's yes, then great. You add them to your database, thank them for being a part of your database, and let them know that you appreciate any referrals that they may have. Does that make sense? Yeah. Srini, I don't have access to the PowerPoint. You guys, I lost my internet connection during the call, so I'm no longer a co-host. Do you want to click one more screen for me?
Yes. So I think the next one is like the whole bunch, like 10 contacts, how to set your goals to carry. I mean,
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. So, I mean, are we having any challenges adding our 10 contacts a day? Right? If we're having challenges, what are those challenges? Are you guys are experiencing? Any challenges in adding those contacts? Any questions on what to say to get those contacts? Are we reaching out, trying to, at least through Facebook Messenger or some way, to kind of engage with the people in our database? Anyone? Anyone have any success stories? Or are we trying to have 10 conversations a day? You can feel free to unmute yourselves or in the chat box.
The challenge is discipline.
It's discipline, right? It is. No, I know. It's not easy. It's easier to say than it is to do, for sure. But hopefully, the more I say it, eventually we'll get around to do it, because eventually we're going to need appointments. I mean, we're going to need to go out and make money, right? We're going to need to make a transaction happen.
Habit.
So the only way to do that is to be proactive, especially in this area, guys. I mean, we have what, 15,000 real estate agents that are competing for the buyers and sellers. You know, chances are that the people in your database know other realtors. And I guarantee you the other realtors are the ones that are picking up the phone and making a call. At least someone is, because they're the ones that are getting the listings if you're not.
And I would like to add also, I've been in 2008 and I became top producer from the first year because a lot of realtors did not know how to deal with the shift, did not want to deal with short sales. So you guys, I hear it from everyone. They're all looking for different jobs now and they're all retiring. So it's your time to get on the market. I would be so interested to see how many active by the end of the year, how many active realtors in California by the end of the year. And I bet you it's gonna drop tremendously because of what's going on.
We'll see. I mean, we have a lot of activity still. I mean, people are really moving still.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I'm working with buyers right now, and we're just getting kicked in the teeth left and right with multiple offers in San Mateo.
And I see all the discounted agents are going to disappear because they don't know how to deal with anything. And now the sellers are looking for really experienced ones that they know how to protect them during the sales right now. So it's your time right now, and you can always, you know, market yourself that you have a team behind you. But set up the discipline first. It's so easy when you're new to set up your database, and it's so hard for someone like me who's been over 13 years in the business to start from the beginning. It is so hard to have good habits when you have bad habits for a long time. But the value is huge, is there. Any questions from anyone? Anything you're having issue to jump on command and start with the database, which is step number 1? I believe every session will have a little flavor of command, and it's just gonna help your business, nothing else. If you don't do it, you're not helping yourself, really. And we have all the tools and we have all the manpower to help you, to assist you. Where's Mark?
So Mark, I see the next few slides about scripts and role playing and all that. I'm not sure how that thing gets covered.
Your one script, add your contacts and take care of your database.
Yeah. So.
Validation.
So these are the ones I see as part of every deck. So I don't know how this thing is.
Yeah, I think we lost Mark.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody has any questions? Any more question? We've been trying to reply.